Hi guys, story time. So, how many of us has ever thought of bringing in somebody from Africa to come and work as a domestic staff or otherwise? How many of us has ever said, "Oh, how wish I came into this country with my nanny, my staffs, my mates, my life would have been different," right? I've thought about it, and I know that so many other people has thought about it. My name is Chantel Collins, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, this is a stunning fall from grace that has shaken the international legal world. This is a story about the Uganda High Court judge, Lydia Mugambe, who was arrested and convicted for bringing and forcing a woman to work as a slave for her in her home in Oxfordshire. Now, I know that in Africa, this is something that we are all used to. Like, most of us grew up with two to three house helps, having somebody to come in and help cater for your kids, right? Do the cleaning, the cooking, and all of that. And in Africa, in return, the family or the person is being rewarded somehow. And, it's okay in Africa. It's something that we're all used to. In fact, I, for one, I grew up with, aunties around me that helped come in, my mother's siblings, people just around from my family that just came to help cater for us while my mother had gone to work, you know and then in return some kind of agreement or reward was given to the family or the person itself, right? It's a norm in Africa. It's something that we all grew up with. It's something that we are all used to in Africa, and it was okay in Africa, right? In Africa it was very, very okay. Now, in certain part of the world, it's not okay. It's a no-no. And then in certain part of the world as well, it's okay, right? Because I know that somewhere, I read somewhere in an article that in Dubai, there's a legal migration pathway for it that you can actually bring in somebody to come and, do the cleaning and all of that for you. And it's okay. That's a legal migration pathway for it. And then in certain part of the world, it's a no-no. Some people, they frown upon this type of things. They called it those sort of things. And then UK being one of them, being one of the people that, they called it modern day slavery, they called it human trafficking, they called it working in servitude. And then, which all of these things goes against that word safeguarded. And then knowing the UK very well, whatever you're doing, it comes to that word safeguarding. Just know that you are in serious deep shit. Excuse my language, but it is what it is. Like you are in serious trouble, right? When you go to Rome, you behave like a Roman, right? But apparently this woman was not informed, because if she was, she wouldn't have done what she did. I mean, being a woman in the legal system, being a woman who has accomplished so much in her career, I mean, if she was informed, she wouldn't have done what she just did, right? So, guys, please watch this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Okay.
You on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You do not mention when questioned. Something which later on in court. Anything you do say may be used as evidence. Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country.
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat.
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy. Is it if you are a diplomat?
I came here as a student. I don't need to work for me. I didn't come with half. She asked me.
Now, what's the story here? The story here is, you could see in the video where the woman was saying, "Oh, I didn't force her to come to my home. I have a diplomatic passport. I have immunity. I have this. I have that." But nobody heard where she was saying this woman was being paid. Right now, this is the problem. So the story here was, there's another person involved in this story, another man who was called John Mugawa, who was a former deputy high commissioner in Uganda, right? Who apparently had an ongoing case in Uganda. And this woman, Lydia Mugambe, being a woman in her status, and she has connection, obviously she has connections back home and otherwise. So John obviously approached her and said to her that, "Oh, let me bring in somebody for you to come and help do your domestic work, and why you in return will help speak to the judge handling his case in Uganda." Like I said, she's a high court judge in Uganda, a UN diplomat, and a UN judge, right? So obviously she has connections. So, and this, they came to an agreement. They agreed that why I help you sort your legal war in Uganda, you also help me to, get somebody to help look after my family. Her doctorate in law, right? And then this agreement was made between John Mugawa and Lydia Mugambe. They came together, had this agreement, and promised the woman that she was going to work in the residence of John Mugawa and she was going to be paid for her work, right? But obviously, Mugambe helped to facilitate. She paid for the flight ticket, she paid for the visa application for this lady and all of that. And then the woman came. In fact, she actually picked this woman up from the airport, right? And then the woman did not now go to John Mugawa's residence as she was told. She now went to Mugambe's residence. And now when we come from Africa and you've stayed 1, 2 months, and people are being paid in pounds hourly for that matter, and she has stayed maybe 2 to 3 months, she's not being paid, she's just staying at home doing the cleaning, the cooking, and all of that, taking the children to the park and bringing them back with no rewards. Obviously she's going to feel somehow. And you know how these Oyibo people, they do, they don't like to mind their business. Somebody must have obviously approached her and poked into, are you doing somebody coming to look after your kids? Obviously is called, what's it even called, childcare services, right? You're providing childcare services, and obviously you should be paid for it. And this woman is not being paid for it, and in pounds for that matter. In pounds for that matter. So now this woman had gone and called the police and is claiming that she was brought here forcefully to do a job that she didn't agree to. People can just switch up a story to just make themselves look good and paint you the bad person, right? Because for some reason I find it very difficult to believe that this woman wasn't carried along as to what she was coming here to do in the first place, right? For some reason I find that very difficult to believe, because it's just similar to Senator Ike Perimado's story. All these people involved, and this is like the third story I've heard that's is similar to each other, and that's happened so far in the UK. Like, it's so sad. It's really, really sad. This woman has accomplished so much in her life, and she's 50 currently, and she has bagged herself 6 years and 4 months with nothing, no, nothing. Like, she has been stripped off of her position. I understand that it can be really, really frustrating, like having to, juggle life in the UK as a working parent, as a working mom. It's a lot. Like, for us immigrants, is a whole lot. We don't have anybody to help us with anything. Like, we literally had to do everything on our own. It's hard. I understand that. But that doesn't make it right. That also doesn't mean that, you should do things knowing fully well that this is wrong, right? I feel really, really sad for her. And I'm making this video today just to find out that like someone like me, do you still want to bring somebody from Africa to come and work for you as a domestic staff? Are you willing to still do that? 1 hour pay, hourly pay, and all of that. Are you ready, or are you ready to face jail term? So I feel really, really sad for her. I feel really, really sad for her. Like, I don't even know what to say. If you're ever thinking of bringing somebody to this country to work for you, please think twice. Think twice. Like, when I see these stories, it breaks my heart. Like, especially with an accomplished woman like this, it really, really do break my heart. So please, 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 guys, I understand it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. It's really, really hard to cope as a working parent, or as a working mom in the United Kingdom. But that still doesn't make it right. It doesn't make her actions right. It doesn't make whatever she did right. Right? So please, before you do this type of things, especially in a no man's land, in a foreign country, read their laws very well. Don't fall a victim. don't fall a victim, right? It's hard, but we pull through. Some of the people that will have to come help us look after our kids is either people we meet from our communities. Because when I go to work and I see my British colleagues and they say, oh, my kids have gone to their nan, they've gone to their aunties, I'm like, you're lucky. You don't know what your God has done for you. Like, but it's hard. My mom, for example, like our families are not here. Nobody to help us. You're doing the cooking, the cleaning, the working, the everything, the school run, the grocery store, everything on your own. It is so hard. It's exhausting. Like, it's hard. I'll say that. But let's just be careful out there. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Are you still ready to bring in somebody from Africa to come and work for you as a domestic staff? Or are you ready to back the jail term? So please, if you're going to do that, do it right, do it well, and then I wish you good luck. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.